So we were operating somewhere and we were high up in some mountain, and then we had to go down from that mountain and then observe a certain area to see what's going on there. So at night when we left our base and started going down the mountain, and there was an apple orchard. We were passing by that apple orchard, must have been around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So there was these people, villagers sitting in the apple orchard with, having lit fires and this. And I remember thinking that, why are these guys sitting in this apple orchard at this time of the night? Why are they there? Why are they not there in their houses? And like we had to obviously avoid them and then go further deep down and da da da. So we came to a small, like a place where we had like pinpointed, okay, we have to reach here and then wait. So we reached there in the middle of like maybe around 3-4 in the morning. We reached that particular place and we sat and waited. And then as dawn was breaking, so I had to find a specific point from where we could, conduct our surveillance or watch and observe or whatever. So I told the guys, ki, wait, I'll go and see. So I took my weapon and I started roaming around in that forest looking for a place where I could get a good viewpoint. So if you see if this is the top where we were sitting, we had come down from, like this is here was the apple orchard, and then we reached here, and then here was the target that we had to survey. And I started moving from here like this through these, like I was going cross around the mountain like that. And I suddenly arrived at a cave, a small cave, and I saw that cave, and there was a like a thick mattress of dry grass which had been kept, and was looking like somebody has made a bed. So, and it was obviously someone has made it. It's not natural. Someone has collected all of this thing and made a very comfortable bed inside this cave. And there was this big, huge lump of shit lying next to it. So I was looking at that and I was thinking, yeah, this is not human shit. Obviously, who will shit so much? And there was seeds in it and all that, things like that. So I was not able to figure out.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend. Sorry, go on.
Ooh.
Go on.
I don't think she's going to be very happy about that.
Sorry. Joke thi yaar. Okay, go on.
So, I was just wondering, what is this karke? But I didn't have time to sit and think too much, and I was beginning to feel that, it's not a safe place, but I had to look further ahead. So I left that and I went a little further, and I found a place. This was the edge of a cliff, and there was just a little space for all of us to just 5-6 of us to sit in one very tight spot, and from there, but there was an entire like a viewpoint. So I came back and then we sat through the whole day, and then at night we slowly moved into that place, and then we sat down, and I was sitting in the lead, and my legs were hanging off the cliff, and I had a big fat thermal imager on my lap, and I was basically looking at all the movement that was going on with the thermal imager. Somewhere around maybe 9:30, 10:30, around that time, early night, I started hearing a heavy movement, like something very, very heavy, or multiple people moving through the forest below us. But I couldn't see inside the forest, so I thought that there's some enemy coming or whatever, and we were all just getting ready, and then suddenly out into the open come these two big bears below us, about maybe 80 feet or so, 100 feet below us, and they started moving up right towards us, and they kept climbing up, and then finally they reached right in front of us, let's say where this door is, maybe another half distance more than this door. That much distance, these two bears came up, and then one bear stood up, and then he smelt us. So he smelt us and then stopped, and then it left. I realized that that cave that I saw was these bears' cave, and I'm sitting on their path. So the bear tried to first climb up. He decided to avoid us and then started to climb up, and then got stuck in the cliff upper, came down. the other bear kept waiting there. That bear came down and then went down and tried to circle us and then climb up from there, got stuck there also. And it came back down and reached the same point, and then it stood up there and charged. So it gave a full charge like that, and we were all sitting in one line like this, and I was like right in front, and there was a cliff on which I was. There was no space. There was no running away, no nothing. So as it charged, so I lifted my weapon up and like came full on, and it was like, as you are really around here, it was standing in front of me and it was roaring into my face.
It stopped 2 meters away from you.
Yeah, just like even closer than this. It just charged straight away, full charge. It came and then like stood up and roared, like spit was falling like that.
But it didn't attack you.
Yeah, so it all happens like that, no. So I had the weapon up, and in fact that day I was the first time I had carried some fancy weapon into that operation. The bullets were small. So, and then plus if you open fire, there's the whole valley will ring with the sound of gunfire. So all that you have done till now, everybody will know you are there. So the op is gone. So I was waiting for the last this thing. I didn't want to harm it also. I didn't want the surprise also to be gone. Nothing. And that weapon which was there in my hand had a small bullet. So I knew if I press and it doesn't die, then it will tear me apart and 2-3 more. Right? So we got stuck there in that moment. It was roaring, and I had my weapon right at its head and waiting. So the guy behind me, he was a local guy. He was SF soldier, but local. So we were sitting back to back. His back was against my back. So he switched around, put his weapon on my shoulder, and there's this button you press, and there's a red laser light which comes out. So he flashed it in its eyes as it was roaring. So he flashed in his eyes and got scared. Like
just because of the light.
Yeah, because of the red light beam on his flashing in his eye. So probably got blinded or whatever, and just like kind of stumbled backwards and pushed off. So ये भी होता है.
How do you feel now recalling all these things?
It's a good memory. Like anything could have happened. I wouldn't have been sitting here, or the bear wouldn't have been there.
What was the time duration between when it started charging and this laser moment?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.